Melon Strikes Back Alive event. My name is Jeff Clark. I've been a friend of the band for a long time, many years, since the beginning of Blind Melon. I'm always glad when I get the opportunity to do this. So tonight we're going to be listening to Strikes Back, which is the latest single from Blind Melon. It's the first one they've released in 2021. It's a great song, and according to my timer, in about 10 minutes, you're going to be able to listen to it as well. It's available on all the platforms, Spotify, Napster, MySpace, all the places where you like to get your music. And so anyway, we're going to be doing this with some of the guys in the band. Glenn Graham, unfortunately, won't be with us tonight. Sent me a note and apologized. Just he couldn't do it. And Travis won't be joining us. But who is joining us? Nathan Towne. Nathan, uptown, downtown, shake your booty all around. That's all my son Charlie and I wrote. And Nathan, he's coming to us live from Michigan. So Nathan Towne, you going to jump in with us? Well, there he is. So Nathan, the last time I was talking to you, a lot's happened since then. You were buying some mega property in Michigan that had like a river on it. It was very exciting. Did that come to fruition for you?
Oh yeah, it's more like a swamp, but there's water there for sure. Yeah, we got a good old I wouldn't say abandoned farm, but it's an old farm, and it's a huge yard.
Are you doing it from there right now? Are you in your new digs as we speak?
No, we're actually at a friend's house because we're so far out that we don't have reliable internet. So,
well, at least you have a friend.
Yeah.
And who's that voice I hear? One person amongst this gang tonight who, in 1986, we skipped school together on a Friday, drove up to Birmingham, Alabama, and saw the Motley Crue on the Theater Pain tour. Got there probably at like noon. Doors getting up until 8, but we got on the front row, and that's my boyhood friend and idol, Mr. Roger Stevens. How you doing, sir?
I remember that very well.
It was a life changer. There was a part where Nikki Sixx was walking across the stage, and you grabbed his leg and made him look in the camera, and you snuck in and took a photo of him.
Yeah.
Then you had those photos developed with that money you were making from Pappy's Foodorama. You gave it all copies. Thanks, man. That was awesome. How are you doing? Of course, Rogers is coming from somewhere outside of Philadelphia, PA.
That's right.
Next on my list, my amigo. Some of you call him Christopher Thorn. I call him CT. Charlie calls him Uncle Christopher. It's our man, the Joshua Tree.
Hey, what's up? How you doing, Jeff?
I'm well, man. Doing good, Always look forward to these things. Christopher was in Mississippi recently, like as of last week, had some stuff going on. COVID's still popping, so we weren't able to visit, and that was a real bummer because we were only like an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
It's worth saying, according to, folklore, old Blind Melon came from Mississippi. Christopher's from Pennsylvania. He was just in Mississippi on business. So,
I said this to Christopher last night. I was like, we were in some weird state of alignment in this time.
Yeah.
I'm probably equidistant from his birthplace as he was from mine.
I don't know.
We need to run our signs and throw the cards and see what comes up.
It pained me greatly not to be able to drive up to see you, but I'm glad things went well, and you'll be coming down soon, and you'll come see us. So.
Yeah, I'll be back in a month or so we'll hang out then. But it felt good to be in Mississippi. I gotta say, got a lot of great memories there, hanging out, writing those songs for the first Blind Melon record. So I love being back there.
Right on, man. Cool. So we're gonna be hearing Strikes Back here in about 6 minutes. Released onto some streaming services last week. I checked the numbers. It's like it's doing. People are really into it. People are listening to it. This will be the debut of the lyric video. The lyrics by Travis Warren. He couldn't be with us tonight. Of course, Nate put this video together while we're rearing up and getting ready to go and hear the new song. It is worth noting, Travis made a solo record during the quarantine. It's called Warrantine, and all the guys in the band play on it. The first single, Bloom Moon, is available on Spotify. It's a great song. If you like Neil, I sent Christopher a text after Travis sent me the album, and I was like, because Christopher, of course, mixed it, produced it, sounds great. And I was like, this album sounds like Harvest by Neil Young, and he said that's what you were going for.
That's exactly what I said to Travis immediately when he sent me the tracks. I was like, oh, wow, this just immediately has like a Harvest vibe about it, you know? The drums, the way the drums kind of sounded, and just everything was stripped back, you know? It was, he did a great job.
He sent me that record when I had a lot going on in my life, and it was nice, you know? It was nice to have it and to listen to it, and I am correct, like Glenn, every record, right?
Everyone but Glenn, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, Glenn, speaking of Glenn Graham, he has a new website. It's called glenngraham.net. And he's got paintings on there and some drums. And I think I saw a thing today where he's going to have 150 T-shirts on there and other sundries, you know, foam fingers, Glenn Graham's #1. There's different things. But he spent a lot of time developing his website. It looks really
It looks great. I checked it out. It looks amazing. And his new paintings are just incredible. I bought a drum head for my son for Christmas.
I bought the picture of myself.
You
I'm
what?
going to get that. Actually, one on my
So the other day, like a few days ago.
That's right. The Roger painting.
Right on. So anyway, that's glenngraham.net. You can check that out. But yeah, there's the one I was going to get was the Rogers. I certainly want that.
Now I sent it to you, Jeff.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Really?
Yeah.
Wow, amazing. We will be very happy to get that in the mail. Speaking of sending stuff, Christopher sent me some socks this year for Christmas, and one pair has my wife and son on it. One pair has Charlie on it. Then he said, Dana, a pair with me on it. So there you go.
It's awesome. I saw those. Yeah.
They're pretty rad. I like them so much I haven't even worn them. So
you're going to get them every year, Jeff, for the next 100 years.
Man.
You're getting them every year.
I look forward to that. So Nate, what's been kicking with you? You still working at the weed store, or you got a promotion? You're doing well with that?
Oh, dude, I'm the fucking mayor, man. What you need, I got it.
Right on, man. Awesome. And you still picking your guitar on the weekends down at the Crab Shack and places around town?
Well, you know, it's wintertime, so it's super seasonal around here. So, been jumping into the marijuana industry pretty heavily.
Right on. And it is legal there in Michigan, right? Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I live in Mississippi, so they haven't quite gotten that far yet. I don't even think they've approved medical or medicinal marijuana.
You got plenty of room for you.
Just did.
Well, I think there's a lot of caveats in it, you know. So I don't think that it's going to quite be what some had hoped. There's a lot of you know, with any bill, there's a lot of stuff in it.
Right.
You know, the governor himself said he didn't want people peddling dope. So, you know.
Yeah.
Well, that's legitimate.
Which reminds me, you know, Roger's dad, like any kind of drugs for Roger's dad, who's like this greatest character, he's one of the most amazing human beings ever, but every kind of narcotic, anything, marijuana, cocaine, etc., was all dope. That was his ubiquitous term for all of it. So, you know, stay off the dope. So
that's right.
Was not a fan.
Yeah. Yeah. That's. I mean, it's a safe strategy, right?
It's. I mean, it's all encompassing. Dope, aspirin, too much Tylenol. It's it's all dope.
You know, it's okay though. Still under that philosophy, at least according to him, would be some good quality Tennessee whiskey.
Yeah.
Shine.
Yeah.
Go out behind the barn, get a little sip of moonshine.
Yeah.
And your dad, he was a Maker's Mark drinker. That was his jam.
I felt he made a switch at some point. He drank Jack Daniels for a while, and then it was Maker's Mark. And at some point, I don't know. I felt like step up, and it isn't Maker's Mark like a more expensive.
Yeah, it's a little more expensive, and it's got like a wax seal on it, like they pour wax on it, runs down the bottle.
Like that. So I think he thought maybe it was more befitting of his status.
Yeah, it was classy.
Yeah.
You know, one of the single best bites of food I've ever had in my life came from your dad. He killed a turkey one time, like a wild turkey, and he cooked it and smoked it. It was like the most amazing thing I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
Like, I still think about it.
My older brother knows how to do that really well. Yeah. I mean, we went turkey hunting every spring.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was amazing, you know. Had to be careful because you didn't want to get a piece of buckshot in and break your tooth.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, no, I was just tired, because it was early. I don't like getting up before dawn.
So you have to get up early to hunt a turkey?
That was my thing. I had no animus. I had no malice against these animals. As far as I could tell, I was pretty well fed. So,
Hey, you went black. What happened? Oh, headphones on.
All right, so now
Put on your headphones.
we'll take your cue from the screen. It says headphones on. So I'm going to encourage everyone to do that. Unplug your headphone out of your Walkman, put it on,
Make it loud.
crank it up,
Make it loud.
turn the lights down, wake
Yeah.
Mama up, and here it is, Strikes Back by Blind Melon.
There's red wine circulating into your bloodstream, agitated, hot tempers divide, conversation guided by something that's not so pretty. Hey, woman, slow down and think a little bit of what you said. I said, wait, woman, in here before you go and spill more ruin in and out of the side of your face. It's been a long time, my friend, since I buried my worries and built my sins. Shaking lots of faith and burned a few times, and it takes a lot more to expire this fight.
in yellow. Oh, I'm sorry, I was boogieing.
Great job, Nathan. That looked great.
It did. It really looked awesome.
Thanks, guys.
So this Strikes Back. First, let me say when Rogers and CT sent it to me, I was like, okay, I've got this great idea. You guys should put Blind Melon in a Star Wars font. So it's Blind Melon Strikes Back. Everyone was excited, but Rogers, my legal expert, said, well, Jeff, Disney is very litigious, and that's not going to happen. It's still a great idea. So this is the 5th single off of the Desert Varmint collection. Because every single has like some sort of picture of a varmint from the desert on it out there by where CT lives.
Yeah.
Which is, and I think they're all taken by Michael Krozetsky. Is that correct?
No. They're all
Keith. Keith. Okay. That was my first thing. I had Keith.
I think you just got yourself fired. Yeah.
So anyway, the manager, Keith Arzola, he takes these great pictures of these desert varmints, which leads to a snake story. See? I knew I could work it in. CT, tell us, you had a lot of issues with the rattlers out there in Joshua Tree, right?
Yeah, man, they were out here first. We're just living in their house. So they're
actually refer to that person as the Snake Whisperer. You told me about this.
Yeah, she's amazing and she's super fun to follow on Instagram because she's handling rattlesnakes every day and she's amazing. She offers just like a service out here. If you have a rattlesnake that you need relocated, we don't kill them out here. You only relocate them. So she comes and grabs it and puts it in her car, and she drives it a couple miles away and relocates them. So anyway, we called her up, and she came over with, I don't even know, maybe like a half a dozen snakes for us to play with one day, and Keith drove up and took a bunch of pictures. We had fun hanging out with rattlesnakes. That's actually a gopher snake, which is why I'm touching it. But all the other snakes were rattlesnakes.
Right on. And there's actually an old rattler on the copy of the single.
Exactly. And that's a rattlesnake right there. That picture right there, that's actually, that might be a Mojave green rattlesnake, one of the deadliest out here, actually.
Christopher, I'll never forget when I came to your house and you open up the freezer and there's a rattlesnake in his freezer that is perfectly preserved, and it looks like it's present. It's there. It's alive.
Yeah. He's
boiled up, and I don't know how that happened.
I don't know either. Somebody gave it to me like that. It was on my property, and then somebody caught it and then gave it to me like that. But when Travis comes to work in Joshua Tree, he won't go in my freezer to get ice for his drink. So I have to get ice once.
And you're like, I saw it, right? And you told me, it's like, look, this is what happened. And I was like, okay, that's a rattlesnake, and because it scares you when you see it.
Sure does.
But even though I knew it was there, every time I opened the refrigerator, it scared me all over again, like it was brand new. I can't figure it out.
Yeah, it looks real.
It's so visceral. It's like that animal is so deep in our evolutionary history that
I know. But I tell you what we learned that day from hanging out with me and Keith hanging out with a bunch of rattlesnakes that day, we realized that they're so not aggressive in any way, and Danielle will tell you that too. It's like, she was trying to get it to strike so we could get a picture of it, and the snake could care less. Like
what's the temperature?
It wanted nothing to do with us, honestly.
The temperature.
It's that, and they're just not. They don't attack like that. They're not. People have the wrong impression of them. They're not coming after you. If you
no, they don't attack you. But if you step on it and you get bitten, it'll.
Oh yeah.
But an aggressive snake that we have here in Mississippi is the old cottonmouth or water moccasin.
Those things
very
will
aggressive.
come after you.
Yeah.
I think
they're aggressive.
You sent me a photo of you and some of our friends in West Point, your little brother and your dad, like holding some snakes.
Listen, I'm not looking for any, it was atrocious that we hunted those animals. It's just
sure. That. Absolutely. And good for you, Christopher. Good on you for having have someone to help take care of that. So this song, Christopher, you said you've had the song that Strikes Back in some form or fashion for a little while and brought it back out.
I wrote the music for Strikes Back right after Blind Melon did that, like in 2008. We looped around the country a couple times. And when we got home, in my mind, I thought we were writing songs for the follow-up to For My Friends. So I had that, around, and then the band took some time off, and I kind of forgot about it, and I personally never connected to it lyrically or vocally. Usually, if I write, a melody or a lyric happens right away, and if it doesn't, then I just put it off to the side. So I sent it to Travis, and he immediately, like Travis style, heard it, and the next day sends it back, and it's exactly what you're hearing right now. It was perfect in every way. I thought it was some of the best lyrics he's ever written. I was blown away. It's one of my favorite songs I've written with Travis, actually.
Mm-hmm. Rogers, I know you spent a lot of time on this song. You told me you did parts, sent it to Christopher, redoing and stuff. Are you happy with the final product?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was like I probably went one pass further than I would normally. I put it that way. And I don't know, it just felt like it clicked at the very last pass to me. Because I'm trying to get live takes all the way through. So, I'll just to, that's what the challenge is with this remote recording, right? Is making it feel like a band in a room. And so that's sort of my way of doing it is I just run takes, and like I'll have it all set up like I'm playing a show, and I try to get all the way through it. And then I'll do, like an overdub or something. And so, you got to know when to not do another overdub. And, that was the struggle for me. Because I couldn't figure it out, because when it got to me, everything had been done, really. So it was like, except for Christopher doing a final mix, but like all the parts had been done. And so, I don't know, I like that situation, and also sometimes, don't like it. It's hard.
Christopher, I want to give you thumbs up for not putting a sitar on there. I mean, it really, I mean, seriously, I think when you do these things, you have to, know when to stop. You know what I mean? And it's that song's perfect for a sitar, but, I don't know, you used restraint. And
it kind of has a sitar sound like that.
It does.
On his acoustic guitars, it's like a 12-string, right? Because I think you probably did a regular tuning and maybe another, or I don't know, maybe you did different tuning or something, but the high strings.
No, it's both. It's all open C tuning. It's an open C tuning. So some of the strings are, unison. So it kind of has a sitar-y sort of, has that sound,
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
It's all of these songs.
Like they do just the top 4 strings on a guitar. Up like that, where you tune it like an open chord or something.
Yeah.
I went back and listened to all 5 songs today, collectively, starting from the first one all the way through Strikes Back, and it's it's very, and I mean this in a really great way. It's very Physical Graffiti era Led Zeppelin, which is the only Led Zeppelin I really want to listen to anymore, because the rest of it is heard. It's all cohesive. If you start with Way Down and go all the way to Strikes Back, it's cohesive.
Yeah, thanks. I've been trying to write that record my whole life. There's certain songs or certain records you've been after your whole life.
Sure.
Physical Graffiti and for me Zeppelin 3. I've been trying to write those songs my whole life. So it's just another version of me trying to write my version of a Zeppelin song. That's really what it is.
So Nate, is the plan still to keep on releasing more songs, more singles, and then eventually press it, put it all out as one finished product?
I'd say so, yeah.
Sounds excellent.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have something to put in the CD player during the apocalypse. You can't always stream.
It's the theme music to the apocalypse.
Yeah, get the back, man.
So, speaking of which, there's some of you may not have heard this. There's another version of the song that Christopher did. It's got some, different things on it. So now we're at the point in the show where we're going to listen to the...
Does it? No, it has the same things, but some things are out. That's what it is. Am I right, Christopher?
You are correct, Rogers.
It's, you know what? They stand alone, though. They sound like 2 completely different songs.
We wanted to feature the strings, I think.
Nate, would you like the Row version 2 for us? Redux?
Well, isn't this a curveball? Yeah.
No, it's on my set list.
Okay, well, let's...
we don't have to. People can listen to it later.
If you want to, it's on Spotify.
Let's answer some questions. Maybe we can answer some questions.
I'll pull it up in the meantime.
There are a lot of really interesting questions, and I really think that I should take time to do that. But if you want to hear the second version of it, we're going to play it at the end of the show, and it's also going to be on Spotify.
Let's roll out with it. It's a good idea.
It's really good. So we'll roll out with that. Check it out on Spotify. Going to get to some fan questions. Made some notes when we get there. So before we get into the fan questions, I want to say hello to Tara Carson, Karen Rutt. These are like huge Blind Melon fans.
Yeah, we love them.
Yeah.
Karen's had a really rough time.
They're in our Platinum Elite Club.
They're awesome. And Karen just got accepted into grad school, so that's awesome.
Congratulations, Karen. We're proud of you.
I love them. They like Charlie, and they know that Charlie and I do Legos, so they sent Charlie and I a Lego set for Christmas, and it's rigging. Like it's lights, like we're going to build a little stage. That's like our next thing. Karen sent us that. So, speaking of which, Tara, she sent in a question, of course. When the world opens up a little more, do you guys think you'll play a show? Because she really misses you and wants to see you perform. Are you at a point where you're talking about putting the Dog and Pony show back on the road?
I think we're waiting for some guinea pigs to get out there and see how it goes. But we're dying to get out there. But,
And anything without a taster, because, we're concerned about being poisoned. But no, absolutely. I mean, we're actively trying to figure out when that's going to happen.
Right on.
Trying to get out there.
Cool. So Nico sent in a question. So that's for everyone to answer. So and I'll take a stab too. It's like, so what is your all-time favorite Blind Melon song to play or listen to? So for me, and I had time to think about this today, as like a huge fan, and I'll always be that regardless of our relationships. But for me, it's Vernie, because it's a sweet, sweet, sweet song. And there's the things that Shannon does with the lyrics in it, the singing, everything about it. My grandmother, she had a glass chicken that was like blue, and it had candy in it, like butterscotch and like grandma candy. And I always think that song's like very, very, very sweet. It's like, when Danny Clinch mentions this a lot when he talks and this about that Rolling Stone review, and I always go back to that. And I'm like, what record did this reviewer listen to? Because this has no reflection of the same soup that I know. But I really like Vernie, and for Roger Christopher, I think that the guitar tones on that song are just ridiculous. Like that's like my favorite tonal song. The guitar tones on it. I'm a big soup guy. I think Christopher did a great job with that song. I was glad to see that it was recorded. And then with this band, there's a song that Christopher, you and Roger sent to me in 2019. I'm not going to say the name of it, but it's an amazing Blind Melon song.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about. That might be the next song. That might be the next song.
Okay, as long as it's none of my business, but as long as there's a plan to release that song's amazing.
Thanks.
The first time that y'all sent it to me, I listened to it 10 times.
Christopher is in the first 3 that we got mastered. Is that the one he's talking about?
He's talking about Start Breaking. We could say it.
Right.
We played it live.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your fans are gonna flip out when they hear that song, dude. It's like it's everything about this version of Blind Melon, man. It's an amazing, amazing song.
Oh, thanks, Jeff.
So, I'm gonna
go.
Look, hey, it's we got to move forward. So
it's teed up and ready. It's mastered and ready to go.
That song's the future. What about you, Raj? What's your favorite Blind Melon song to play or listen to, if you do?
I don't listen to anything on purpose really anymore, other than what we're working on. But when I hear stuff, sometimes somebody you'll just hear something and it's like, wow, Soup is a gorgeous song, and so I do love that one, and I love I Wonder from the first record because it feels like it's almost all of the things we do in one song.
Yeah, totally. I agree.
It's like here, we're just gonna do a quick, like, it's like the abridged version of Blind Melon in a way.
Yeah.
When it starts out with that sort of acoustic part, and then there's like, kind of a fake heavy metal riff.
Right.
And there's some like, beautiful melodies and vocals, and then it just gets weird.
We both
Controlled chaos.
Time changes, and then it just goes out, and we're trying to be Pink Floyd or something. So I don't know. I love it.
What about you, CT? What do you like to?
I would probably say the song "Soup." For me, it's probably my favorite collaboration between myself, Shannon, and Rogers. It's a little bit about what Rogers is saying. It's like that song would not be the song without Rogers. Rogers had either a song or a part that we put at the end of that, and the song never would have been one complete song without sort of.
Like the vocal was written over what you did, right?
Yeah.
And it was a song.
Yeah.
And it was just, I had a riff, and we stuck that on there, and then it just kind of worked.
It's my favorite part. I look forward to getting to the end. Every time I start Soup, I can't wait to get to the end of the song because it's my favorite part. So, Soup for me is definitely the song I probably enjoy playing, the most. It has a good shelf life. I haven't gotten over it yet, For me, Sleepy House is also another one I'll throw into that same category where I'm always like, oh, good, I get to play Sleepy House again. Like, I'm never bummed when that one comes up. And I feel the same way about I Wonder, too. 2x4 has been the song we've sound checked with for about 30 years or 20-something years.
Right, yeah.
And still never gets sick of playing.
Because everybody's playing at their loudest, right? So you kind of know.
Right on.
Yeah.
Where it's going to be, you kind of know what, all right, here's sort of my ceiling, and here's where I got to back off from if I need to.
Yeah.
What about you, Nate? What's your favorite song that you play live or just out of the catalog?
I think it's probably St. Andrew's Fall as far as like the live jam of it. It's got a fun groove at the beginning, and then at the end, it's pretty much open-ended, and we can do anything we want, And it gets, I would say that's where it gets the most creative on stage.
Yeah, the jam at the end. Yeah, that's pretty fun. You're right. Yeah, it's different every night. I would say that to go off of what Nathan's saying. The songs that are open-ended, and there's a few in the set, and that's one of them. Those are fun. Like, Rogers and I have moments every night that I'm like, oh, let's see what happens here. And it's those songs are fun when you get to be creative in the moment and, strictly do improvisation on stage is invigorating.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to mention about Vernie that I left out is it has some great lead drumming by Glenn on it. So he's a lead drummer.
Yeah, he is.
He's my favorite ever.
He's the best, hands down. So we have a question from @Brian P. Stevens 87. Is there a possible release of any Shannon acoustic songs?
Yeah, we're I can't say a whole lot, but we're in the middle of working on that right now, and there's going to be either one record or an extended record or two. There's a bunch of material that we're working on right now, and I think we actually have a partner to put it out, but I'm not sure I can say the name. But that's coming out.
Right on.
There's also
while we're on that subject,
there's also a lot of other stuff that we have that we, thanks to our manager Chris Jones from back in the day.
Oh, that's right.
We got a trove of other stuff.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, there's a lot to
we just compiled all that and digitized it.
Did you have to take it off of like DATs? Like those little bitty DAT tapes and
yes.
I don't even know. I mean, nobody's
they were DATs
about this or whatever. But yeah, it's like every freaking live show that we did. Basically, we recorded. So
yeah, he's dying to come on.
Oh, Charlie.
Let's let Charlie come on and say what's up.
Come here, Charlie. He can't stand it. He's like waiting in the wings,
Charlie!
Hello, everyone. This is my buddy, Charlie.
Charlie.
He's fine.
How are you,
Say
Charlie?
hello. Say hi to Roger.
Hey, Rogers.
Hello,
And
Charlie.
there's Nate. Remember Nathan? Nathan, uptown, downtown, shake your booty all around. Yeah. Sorry, man. It's going to be on the next record. Okay, so here's a question from Danny Clinch. The statement first. Love the new music, and it is exciting to continue to see Blind Melon evolve. Question: how has making the music change for you on this recent record due to the lockdown? And that's a great question. I'm sure a lot of people are interested in that.
Yeah, I think we're all stuck in the same position everybody else is. You know, we're making this record remotely. I mean, our band does best all in the same room making music together, and Rogers pointed that out about a year ago, and he's right. But we're having to make do, and, you know, we still want to make a record, so we're having to push through it and do it remotely. Luckily, everybody is a great engineer and producer themselves, so we managed to get the job done while not being in the same room. But I think when we get together, the next session is going to be incredible, because I think we're excited to work up songs in the same room together, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's actively on, you know, what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Or, you know, we have some big plans that I will not tell you about because they might not happen, but they probably will.
But when they do, they're going to be amazing, and that's awesome.
Yeah, it's before we would be out playing live.
Yeah.
So, I'll throw out a question. Let's talk about that handsome Nathan Towne and what he brings to the band.
Well, looks, hair, you know, chops, all of it.
Yeah,
well,
Nathan's a fucking, he's an ace MVP, you know. He's the MVP.
Right on.
We said
Nathan, are you still making videos? Your classical guitar videos?
OnlyFans.
Right on.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Right on.
I'm just kidding.
Hey, Jeff,
I'm a big fan.
I just thought of one little factoid I wanted to throw out, and I only thought of it right in the moment as you said the name Danny Clinch, who obviously is the director of the All I Can Say film. Thank you very much, Danny, Taryn, and Colleen. But I just realized we're talking about Strikes Back, and Strikes Back, there's a version of the song before Travis put the vocals on it. I worked on the film score, and there's a scene where we're I think we're at Capitol Records and we're getting ready to sign our deal, and we're all kind of hanging out in the movie. And you can hear Strikes Back before the band plays.
Isn't that like the original demo, though, Christopher? Is that what it is, basically? I mean, those are the tracks that we're playing over.
Yeah, same thing, same track. Only it's my drums and not Glenn's drums, and you know, and just me basically. So.
Yeah, that was
anyway, a little factoid for you. If you want to go check out the All I Can Say film.
Here's a little factoid. You know, I met Danny through Rogers before Soup was made, when Rogers was living in New Orleans.
Listen,
And
I don't think that was really Danny Clinch. I think he may have had his assistant just type in. You know, he has an industry of PR people working for him now.
He's a machine. But one of the first times I met Danny, I took him to see Willie Nelson for his first time, and we bonded over that sense that they.
That's cool.
Yeah. So Charlie had a very important question. Are we going to be able to play Tug of War tonight, which is a card game where the highest one wins? So,
nice.
Absolutely. Here's a question from Lizzie B. And I think, you know, a lot of people will be interested in this as well. Writing new music, are the guitars a collaboration? Or does Rogers write a song and then Christopher adds, or vice versa? Do you have a sound in mind that you want to achieve when you're writing a song?
Oops.
Rogers, you want to take that, or you want me to answer it?
Well, yeah, I'll say, almost all of the songs, all the songs that you've heard from this new batch so far are the latter, where I play over stuff that's already been done. Because Christopher wrote, Too Many to Count, Strikes Back, and
in the very best way.
In the very best way. And then Travis wrote Way Down Far. Like I'm just thinking where the song sort of originated. Way Down Below, Fence, and then, you know, in every case he's writing vocals and for the most part, you know, like help, you know, finishing the songs, you know, the melodies. So I've been in that position where like it's developed, so like I have to figure out, you know, what to do over it. And in my view, like I feel like if I can't like help like move the ball significantly forward on the song, you know, then I haven't done my job. So I like kind of throw myself against the wall a lot.
This session's a unique situation, I would say, because normally Rogers and I would be in the same room, and it's not like we break it down and talk about it, but just being in the same room, I think, allows us to play off of one another without even mentioning it. But there's something about being...
What about this? It's like, because if you do something in the room, and I hear it immediately, like, if I'm like thinking I'm going down a certain path, I won't do it in that moment because I'll hear it and I'll do something different in reaction to what you do. And it happens really fast.
Yeah.
Like, I think the territory gets staked out early on, it seems like.
Yeah.
Right? If we're in the room, like, and there's a song that's kind of coming together. But in this case, like, Christopher kind of would have this thing. It's fully developed. Like, the changes are there. It's recorded in a sense. And I love it. I'm like, all right, so how am I going to make this better? And so that's what I try to do. And it's a challenge because...
It is a challenge. I think the other way it works is in the room. What we don't have now, when we're in the room, Rogers will play something, and then I'll react to it, and then when I played, he's reacting to it. And it's happening without any really... we're not talking about
never
it.
Discussed. It was never discussed. Now.
Exactly.
And the time.
Exactly. So that's what's changed now is we don't get to, like, just do what we do naturally by being in the same room together. One person has planted a foot down and said, here's my guitar part, and then the other guy has to play along to it. And that's different.
It's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. It's just different. It's just different.
And I did, and so, you know, when Christopher says something about my guitar part, I get sort of like a performance anxiety, you know, and it just makes it much more difficult.
Hey, I gotta get my charger. I'll be right back.
What about you, Nathan? Like, what form do you get the songs in? Like, Travis sending you his stuff? I mean, what's on the songs when it's time for you to do your parts?
Like, usually, like, for Fence, for example, that came as just literally Travis playing the acoustic guitar and singing. And then I put the bass and then piano on it. And that pretty much was like that for, like, I don't know, a couple of years.
That took Nate about 15 minutes. Seriously, guys. I mean, like, I hear Nate saying these things, and let me just tell you what, like, Nate is, sorry to interrupt you, Nate.
No,
You're not selling yourself. You just, I'd wrap that up in about 5 minutes.
Song longer than that, you know.
Hey, he is exceptional. He knows what to do, and, you know.
Right on.
You know, in this process, I'll give you one example. In this process, because we're not in the same room jamming, like, Way Down and Far Below is a great example of a song that I got my guitar parts from Nathan, meaning I just soloed up Nathan in the drums and noticed all these little hooks Nathan was doing, and I'm like, oh shit, thank you very much, I'll steal that, thank you, I'll steal that part, I'll make it my own. And so a lot of my guitar parts in that song in particular actually came from me just listening to what Nathan was doing.
Yeah, it's just
and you do some great, your bass playing's great, like, especially on Fence, and what was the other song that was released with?
Very Best Way.
The Very Best Way, like, bass playing on those songs, like the way you change from quarter notes, it's awesome, man.
Thanks, man.
So Michael Kravetsky, you know, he's
hey, Michael,
friend sent some questions, and I like this one. You know, what records or music are you currently listening to? You know, Christopher, I send you stuff like all the time. Rogers just turned me on to an amazing song a couple of nights ago. But what are you listening to when you're not working on stuff?
I listen to quite a bit. I've been obsessed with a song called Head Sick.
Oh, yeah.
From User X. I've been obsessed with that song. And, I mean, quite honestly, I've been listening to that Taylor Swift record quite a bit, too.
That Taylor Swift song with Bon Iver, you know
it's
one.
Amazing.
Oh, God.
It's amazing. Song. It's totally amazing. I listen to quite a bit, yeah. What's that?
She's a superstar. I mean,
she is. I just think
really,
the songs are great. Yeah, the songs are beautiful, you know.
What about you, Raj? What are you listening to when you're not, you know, Rogers, if you're my friend on Facebook, which a lot of you are, a lot of the fans are, stuff. Rogers and I have a little project we're doing. He's doing what I call the Great Rock and Roll Songbook, where he's such a fan of music. He records some songs and cover songs, and he'll send them to me. And if you like them, I'll put them out on my Facebook page, and like he's done My Sweet Lord and things like that. And it's really, really awesome, and it's a cool project, and I appreciate it.
Problem.
Huh?
I can't sing is the problem.
I'm
a good selector of cover songs, but I can't sing them well enough to.
You sing them well. And I appreciate you doing that.
That song that we were talking about, what was that? It's Chris Stapleton. That dude can really sing.
Yeah, man.
And
Right.
I love his voice. And what is it called? It's an actor. And I didn't know anything about this guy, but
So
Balloon.
let me find that song. It's called Farther Along, which is an old hymn, like an older hymn, but it's a hymn that's been around for a while. And so I saw it pop up in my Spotify like a few days ago, and it's by Leslie Jordan. He's an actor. He was on Will and Grace, and he's done a lot of stuff during lockdown. Like he makes Instagram videos where he says, "Well, shit," and he's like real country and does all this stuff. So when I saw this,
sounds like where we grew up, Jeff. He sounds like
totally.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know, it's kind of bypassing. Roger's like, man, you have to check this song out. It's amazing. I'm like, okay. It's really incredible. Chris Stapleton's wife, Morgan, is such an amazing singer, man. Morgan, she's just amazing. And that guy, Leslie Jordan, can really sing. And then at the end, Chris Stapleton just kills it.
He totally
delivers it. Great.
I love his guitar playing. I love all of it. Yeah.
Awesome. What about you, Nate? What do you listen to when you're not playing, performing? Or?
I've been listening to a lot of what do you call them? Lo-fi hip hop. Just putting that on repeat in the headphones, just doing some work. Also, Exile on Main Street. Rogers got me into that one. That's a nice one. I mean, every single 4 seconds, it's got a nice little feel-good riff.
It's probably the second or third best rock and roll album in my mind.
I agree, Rogers. I agree.
What's the first?
I leave that part open for whatever whimsical idea I might have at the moment.
Yeah.
So that spot remains open. Probably number 2 is like Abbey Road or something. I don't know.
Exile for me, like when I'm on the road, I always put it on. Like whenever I leave to go on the road, Exile is probably the first thing I play in the hotel every night, the first night of a tour.
It feels right.
It just feels like rock and roll has saved my life. Here it is. I'm on tour. It's a dream.
Saved your life, or you're on the road to ruin.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's get into some trouble.
Songs for everyone. I got that for Christmas. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law gave it to me like on the original tape, slowed down, completely audiophile version, 4 albums on vinyl. Ridiculous. Sounds incredible.
It's too bad you're fucking deaf, so you can't tell the difference now. From all those being on all these rock shows that you've been on.
Yeah, and all the really bad heavy metal like Manowar and stuff that I used to listen to. As I was telling the other day, I just don't have time to listen to that stuff anymore. I'm on limited time now. I'm 50. It's only got to be the hits, man. It's got to be the good stuff. So another question. This is a great question from Michael. Is when you get back on the road, where's somewhere you really want to play? What's a venue that you can't wait to return to?
I want to go to Buenos Aires, South America.
Yes.
I want to go to Boulder. I was just talking to somebody about Boulder.
Boulder's great.
I was like, that was always a fun place to play.
I'd like to get that.
A million places I want to go.
I want to do that Red Rock show that got canceled because of COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, that was like a bucket list moment for me, and I was pretty crushed it didn't happen. So I'm hoping that comes back on the books for us.
What about Europe? I've never been over to Europe. That'd be awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Speaking of Red Rock, you're going to play like a dual headlining or opening show slot there. Back in the day, you guys played with a lot of different people. Tons. Is show or tour that like stands out. You know, that scene you played with Neil Young or opened for Neil Young with Booker T and the MGs. That was probably, you know, that's about as good as it gets. Not to mention the Stones, but that Neil Young and Booker T and the MGs. Wow. I mean, you see Steve Cropper every night.
Incredible.
Incredible.
But you know,
playing bass.
You know what tour was fun was like the Lenny Kravitz tour was even more fun maybe because it felt like he was hanging out more. He'd come into our dressing room and jam on drums with us and like I don't know, that seemed like a fun tour. I mean, they were all great, but like something about that Lenny Kravitz tour seemed like just a super good time.
I think it helped. Like, you know, that tour was one of our longer sort of opening slot deals, and Neil Young was as well. So like you kind of get to know people a little bit better.
Yeah.
You know, we did a few others that were, you know, we connected with people, but sometimes, you know, you'll go and do like 2 or 3 shows with somebody, and it's hard to, you know, you just might not run into them.
Yeah. Lenny, we were with him for a bit, so it felt good, you know. We're hanging out with those guys. Hey, I'm seeing questions right down here. Is this is us right here? These little questions come popping up on the screen?
Yeah, you know, there's some that pop up. A lot of it's just, you know, hellos and things like that.
Person from Tokyo, we would love to come to Tokyo, by the way.
Allegations and...
You know, speaking of that Lenny Kravitz tour, you know, you guys had me out for that for my birthday at New Orleans, the UNO Arena.
I remember that show. That was
I remember it was like this magical rock and roll moment. It was during, you know, you played a set and was getting ready for the encore, and I was standing beside you, Christopher, right at the monitor board. Lights were down. He was standing right beside us with his Les Paul, and he's like a little dude. Like, he's a little bitty, you know, his butt's like this wide. He's a
totally.
small guy. He's like built. So he's standing like right beside us, and that snare part to "It's Not Over Till It's Over" went, and then the lights, and boom, he strutted out on stage, and you know, I live for that stuff, man.
Yeah.
It's like one of the greatest things ever.
Yeah, great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Let's see. You got a couple more questions, and I think we'll just kind of wind this up, and we'll check out the remastered version of the remixed version of Strikes Back. Let's see. Here's one question for all three of you. What do you miss the most about performing live?
The green room.
Yeah, it's great napping for Nate, and also, you know, occasionally there's a vegetable tray.
And sweaty cheese. No, for real, Christopher. What do you miss? You miss playing the music? You miss connecting? Or?
Yeah, I miss kind of like the brotherhood. You know, I didn't grow up with brothers, so for me, you know, I need a band to have some brothers. So I miss like Obviously, I miss the obvious things. I miss the fans. I miss playing for people, all of those things. But I miss all the other things that have nothing to do with the show. I miss the dinner after the show, hanging out with my band members. You know what I mean? Like, I miss those, like, funny moments, you know, driving somewhere in the van where Roger's just cracking everybody up. You know what I mean? Whatever. Like, I miss that. I guess I miss, like, the brotherhood of it, you know? When the whole family's there, and Tara and Travis and Keith, and, like, you know, you travel as a family. I miss that feeling. It's a good feeling, you know.
Right on. Well, here's hoping that you guys are able to do that soon, and we're all able to go out and attend it. Again, I want to thank you for letting me do this. Thank you for letting Charlie come on. He's been dying to come on and say hello.
Yeah, Charlie.
You know, it always goes by much quicker than you think it's going to. And thanks to Nate for setting this up.
Yeah,
thanks. And Fred and everybody on the back end for making this happen. I just looked at the Facebook Live and at the YouTube, and there've been a ton of people watching this tonight. So thanks to all of you. You know, thank you for your comments, even the ugly ones. But it's okay. Never read your own press, as they say. And I hope we do this again. And if you guys release Start Breaking, you know, you have to let me do this again, because I'm going to go nuts over that song.
For sure. For sure.
Until that happens, you know, if you're listening to Strikes Back, it's on all the platforms. And so we're going to go out. Nate, if you'll roll it, we're going to hear Strikes Back.
Can I say one thing? I just got to give a shout out, because Rick Nelson is the guy who does the strings for this version that we're featuring Rick, really. And Rick is a good friend and plays in the Afghan Wigs, and I make the Wigs records. So I work with Rick quite a bit. And I just got to thank Rick for doing an amazing string arrangement on the song.
Did he do that in New Orleans and send it to you?
Yeah, man. Honestly, I work with Rick all the time. Like, Rick played on the Joe record, and I just send him stuff. I don't say anything, and he sends me back something that's beautiful and makes my job easy. So, shout out to Rick Nelson. He's got a great studio down there in New Orleans that he works out of.
Cool. Rogers, has always been a pleasure, my man. Thank you.
Good to see you, my friend.
Love her. Love you too. Love all of y'all.
All right,
And,
guys.
Let's hear it.
Love
Say
you
bye-bye,
all.
Charlie.
Bye.
Right.
Bye-bye. Bye, Charlie.
Here's Strikes Back.
Bye, Charlie.
Redux. Say bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. It's coming up.
It's coming.
It's stay on. Count it down. 5, 4, 1. You're leaving me hanging, man.
I know it.
Oh, also, new episode of At Home Ad and Charlie dropping soon, or 1 year anniversary show. Check it out. Featuring Roger Stevens.